very high level view of the performance board. So we sort of reviewed the whole performance board. Sorry you guys missed it. It's really, really good. But we kind of did a whole overview of these sections. So today we're just going to take a more detailed look at some of these charts that we're going to use. We're going to talk about lagging charts and we're going to talk about leading charts. So who remembers our lagging chart was sort of our outcome measure? We also might call it something else. Does anybody remember? Where would it go on our performance board? We have our true north and our KPI. What would come next? Our what? So our lagging would go here, right? Mm-hmm. Good. And then our leading would go where? Yes, this would be our how we're going to get to the what. So the what is what we want as our outcome, or what currently is our outcome, and then the leading is how we're going to get to the what. Does that make sense? I know some of these terms seem a little bit interchangeable. I know we've used a lot of different terms. I was kind of thinking about that last night, and I kind of liken it to, although I don't have a clinical background, I remember going to work in a clinical setting, in a healthcare setting, and all of a sudden all of these sort of vocabulary words are coming at me, and I'm sort of like having this aha, like, oh, a bruise is also a contusion, right? Did I get that right? Is that right? But you know what I mean, right? So you learn that there's a vocabulary word for something you already know. So that's what we're putting to lagging and leading metrics. Does that make sense? Okay, I see some head nods, that's great. So remember, our performance board tells a story, right? If we have our charts and our graphs with missing pieces or in the wrong order, what does that do to our story?
Confuses it.
Yeah, it misses the effectiveness of the story. Yes? Okay. So we're going to walk through some charts and we're going to talk about what good looks like in terms of our lagging and our leading charts, okay? If at any time something doesn't seem right or you have a question, please raise your hand because we'll just build on this as the day goes. So if I haven't covered something completely, please let me know. We can discuss it in the room, okay? Okay, so along in your participants guide, you have these sort of broken out into A, B, C, things like that, okay? So please follow along. At the top, we have a SMART goal. This is true for your lagging and for your leading graphs. You always want that SMART goal at the top. Who remembers what a SMART goal means? You know there'd be a quiz early in the morning, right?
Specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound.
Did she get it right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Give her a round of applause. Yay! So we have our SMART goal here at the top. Did I get a laser pointer?
It's a good day, Jen.
We have a realistic goal. So I'm going to assume at the time that this chart was created, we're only kind of at May. So this goal probably still was realistic back in May. Is it realistic now? No. Probably not so much. But yeah, when this was created, that was probably realistic. We have a visual to represent our goal direction. So for this chart, we want to reduce our weight from 180 pounds to 150 pounds. So we're reducing. So we have an arrow here saying we want to go down. We want to reduce it. We have data points plotted here, 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 and here. And then we've connected them by a line to show a trend. Okay? Sometimes you might see bars on a graph. That's okay too. I think this is just a little bit more easily visible from a further away distance. So you want to plot your points and then connect your lines. Our chart is updated, and we're going to presume that this chart is from May, so it's updated to current, as much data as we have. Our axes are correctly marked and aligned for best visual. So over here, we're calculating in pounds. This is our unit of measure, is pounds. Does that match what we have up here? Pounds, right?
So we wouldn't kind of want this in ounces. That might throw us off a little bit. So these match up, pounds here, pounds there. We're calculating month to month, so we're looking at this over a year. This also matches what we want to do here for timeline. Any questions, sorry, I'll go back really quick. Any questions about this chart?
So yesterday when we were discussing SMART goals, we talked about how SMART goals need to have the outcome measure or outcome goal and the action goal in the goal statement, right? So this lagging data only has the outcome in it. It doesn't have the action, because the lagging data always have the outcome goal and the leading data always have the action goal.
Yes.
And then your overall goal statement is then combined.
Yes.
Okay.
How you're going to do the what. That's exactly right. Anyone else have questions about that? That was a good way to
So
say
it
it.
wouldn't actually be a full SMART goal up there. It would be the SMART minus the A part.
So once we put them on the performance board together, it's going to tell the story of the SMART goal. Yes, so you'll need both, I think is what you're asking and telling, right?
On the board you need both, but on the title up there, for lagging, you would just have the outcome goal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was questioning because on here it says goals should be realistic and clear, and then say SMART in it, but SMART
But it is
requires-
technically actionable. You're not saying what the action is, but is it actionable? Can I do something that will affect this goal?
So that was a question that I had yesterday. Realistic is like a yes or no question, right? That
Mhm.
portion of SMART.
Mm-hmm.
And I had asked, is the actionable part a yes or no answer, or is it a piece of the goal statement? And I was told that it's a piece of the goal statement, not just yes or no.
Okay, I just don't remember that. Does anybody remember answering that question? Do you remember who who you were talking
I
to?
think it was more of
A
it was
group
at the end
conversation?
afterwards when we were all.
Oh, like
talking.
debriefing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, just to be clear, a SMART goal needs to be actionable, meaning I need to be able to do something that's going to move from what my current state is to my desired state. But you don't have to say in the goal what it is you're going to be doing in order to get you there. Okay, so this is a lagging, in Jen's, the one that was just up, that is a lagging goal, and it was a SMART goal because we can do something about it to get from, what our original weight is to our goal weight. And then Jen's gonna kind of move into talking about those leading metrics, which again, we're gonna start tracking daily, and that's where you're gonna see probably more of an action type of a goal. And then that will be in your leading SMART goal will probably include something with what is the action that we're taking.
So.
But not always, it may not say the actual action.
So, just for the team that I was on yesterday, when we were going around and then turning the patient satisfaction and a couple other things into SMART goals, we had most of it complete, but we thought that it wasn't complete because we didn't have the actionable portion, because we had said reduce or increase patient referral on CG caps to 95% by 2021 or something like that. So that would have technically been a SMART goal, because it's something we can action upon, even though we didn't have the action statement in the goal statement.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Making sure.
Yeah, I think what it pertains to, is this something that I have control over? Is this something that I can do some action to move the dial on this? What we wouldn't want to have, sorry Sandra, I'll get right to you, but sorry, we're doing a quick sound check here too. What we wouldn't want to have happen is for me to set a goal for someone else to lose weight, right? That's not actionable by me. Does that make sense?
So it could be yes or no, or in the goal statement.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm constantly referring back to the definitions, and it's still kind of gray for me, and I've been kind of involved in continuous improvement work for a while. But I think what just clicked with me is, once you associate a specific process change to that SMART goal, then it becomes a leading indicator
It-
that you can track on.
What I'm gonna ask is that, let's let Jen continue
Okay,
to
sorry.
talk, because I think as we continue to talk through it,
makes
it's gonna
sense.
click. Totally normal that right now you're still kind of trying to get the lingo down. So I wanna make sure that as we go, I think everybody is kind of understanding about the lagging or the outcome measure that again, this is something that has happened kind of, we're measuring it we're looking in the rearview mirror to see how did we do last month, right? So it's kind of a rearview mirror, a lagging, right? So that's why when Jen had that last graph up, it was by month. So if we're not measuring it until every month, that's a distant memory, right? That was last month that we tracked it, okay? So it's an outcome. It says desired outcome. Okay, I just want to make sure everybody gets that
Move on.
piece.
I
Okay,
think today it's gonna click for me.
I think it will.
Great.
I think it will. And again, well, I want to continue to have this conversation, but let's let Jen kind of present, see if it starts to click more once she kind of gets into that. Now here's the leading and how it affects the lagging.
Yes. So we probably all are familiar with some department goals that we're tracking monthly, right? How did we do on this and how did we do on that? And we will get those numbers after that month has happened, right? So they're outcome metrics. We know how we did on something. Similar to this example that was up, we know how we did on something by tracking our weight monthly. What are some of those things that we're sort of thinking about what we did that would impact our weight at the end of the month?
We said exercise, logging, tracking nutrition.
Yeah. So those are daily actions that we can change, they're actionable items that we can change to affect what our outcome is at the end of the month. Does that make sense? So we're tracking this monthly. We're going to calculate at the month mark how we did that month on those sort of actionable items that Sandra is talking about. Sort of our exercise, our calories, and things like that, right? So we're going to choose one of those things to track daily to see if we can move this metric at the end of the month, okay? So we'll pick one of those, we'll track it daily and say, if I make this small change every day, will that change the outcome at the end of the month? Does that make sense? Okay. So the chart that I'm going to show you after this brief review is just a tool to do that, okay? So you might see some variations in what the chart looks like, but primarily it will look like this. It's a tool to track that item that you've chose to put action towards every day. You'll have your days of the month down here. Your action item up here, or this is also part of your SMART goal, Tiffany, as we talked about. So I'm going to maintain 1,200 calorie intake per day. So that's something I'm doing every single day. And I'm assuming at the end of the month, that's going to improve my outcome and help me get to my goal of weight loss. Does that make sense? Okay. Any questions about that? So this is just a daily tracker to say, how am I doing every day of the month on this, okay? So now we'll sort of break out the pieces of this to show us what good looks like in daily tracking. Cool? Okay. So again, our SMART goal, or action item towards our SMART goal, is up here, maintain 1,200 calorie intake per day, every day. We have our visual over here to represent our goal direction. So we're going to maintain 1,200 calories a day, and it looks like we're starting at about 1,500, so we're wanting to go down, right? So we have our down arrow over here. Our chart is updated. We'll assume that this is where we are in the month. You see we don't have any large gaps in sort of our daily tracking. So we're creating a habit of tracking this every day. Our data points connected by the line, which kind of creates that trend look for us. Our axis matches what we're tracking up here. So we're tracking calories here, and we're tracking calories here, okay? There's two other things I want to point out on this that aren't broken out on your participants guide. Do you see the goal line here? What does that do for us? Yes, a quick visual indicator of where we want to be, right? And if our goal is to be at 1,200 or less, we'll assume that a little bit less is acceptable too. How are we doing on this? Sandra, you can see it from the back of the room, right?
Yeah, we need to really do some whys. Some whys.
Thanks for teeing that up. Yes. So we have sort of 14 days in the month, so for 2 weeks, how are we doing on this? Not good. How many times in this 2-week period have we made goal? 2 times, right? Do you see any other trends in this chart?
We were really motivated at the beginning of the month.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it, now I get an extra glass of wine tonight.
Mm-hmm. I think these sort of grayed in are the weekends. What are you seeing on the weekends?
Partying.
This isn't my chart, so there's no judgment. Any other trends you see on here? I think Tracy, you pointed out we had some early success here in
Motivated right in the beginning.
Monday we get motivated again.
don't we all?
Mhm.
Okay. Anything else?